Welcome to my lecture session. Today we will discuss an important theorem of international trade, that is Rybczynski Theorem. So for simple and precise lecture sessions, do like, share and subscribe my channel. According to this theorem, if we increase the supply of one factor, then the output of goods using that factor in larger amount will increase. Let's take an example of cloth industry. We take two factors of production, that is labor and capital. We take a cloth industry, which is a labor intensive industry. That is, it uses labor in larger amount to carry out the production process. Suppose we increase the supply of labor. In this case, as cloth industry is labor intensive industry, so with increase in labor supply, the output will also increase. So this is what this theorem states. Further, we will discuss this concept using Edgeworth box diagram. Here we take two industries, that is cloth industry, which is labor intensive industry, and the steel industry, which is capital intensive industry. On the vertical side of the Edgeworth box, we have capital and steel, whereas on the horizontal side, we have labor and cloth. So this is shown in this Edgeworth box diagram. So in this diagram, the black curve, that is QS, is the contract curve. As we know that contract curve is used in economics to show the efficient or we can say proper allocation of resources between two parties or the two industries. In this case, the two industries are the steel and the cloth industry. Then the blue line, which is QT, represents the capital and labor ratio for the cloth industry. So capital labor ratio tells us how much capital and labor is used for producing cloth. Similarly, the blue line, which is TS, is the capital labor ratio for steel industry. It shows how much amount of capital and labor is used in carrying out production of steel. Now, as per this theorem, if we increase the labor supply while keeping the capital constant, the Edgeworth box will shift towards right from PS to PX and from QR to QY. The yellow shaded region, which is SRYX, shows the increase in labor supply. Now new contract curve is the red line, which is QX. In this case, the line QU represents the capital labor ratio in production of cloth, whereas the UX line represents the capital labor ratio in production of steel. So from this Edgeworth box diagram, we conclude that when the labor supply is increased, the capital labor ratio of cloth industry increases from QT to QU. The QU part is larger than the QT part. It means that the production of cloth increases with increase in labor supply. Whereas on the other hand, in case of steel industry, which is capital intensive industry, the capital labor ratio changes from TS to UX. Clearly, the UX part is smaller than the TS part. So we can say that the production of steel decreases on increasing the labor supply. Now we can summarize this theorem by studying this diagram. Here on x-axis we have labor intensive goods, which is cloth, and on y-axis we have capital intensive goods, which is steel. PQ is the initial production possibility curve. A is the initial equilibrium point and UV is the initial price line. Suppose at this equilibrium point A, we are producing 30 units of steel and 100 units of cloth. If labor supply is increased, keeping capital supply constant, the production possibility curve will be RS, and U1 V1 will be the new price line and A1 will be the new equilibrium point. Now at this equilibrium point A1, we are producing almost 500 units of cloth and 15 units of steel. So the production of labor intensive goods, that is cloth, increases from 100 to 500, while the production of steel, which is capital intensive goods, reduces from 30 units to 15 units. Now I suppose this theorem is clear to you. Thank you.